I'm speaking today to Tatsiana Monares, and she's a clarity and strategy coach. And we're going to dive into ambitious women who look successful on paper but are burnt out in reality. And we're going to really unpack this topic because I think it's really relevant to a lot of women these days. So, Tatsiana, maybe you can just for the viewers or the listeners, just introduce yourself, who you are, and what you do.
Hi, my name is Tatsiana Monares, and I am a life coach, but I specialize in giving people clarity and direction when they feel stuck at the job. Maybe they don't like it anymore. Maybe they need a transition, but there's so many things that come together that hold us in that stuck position, and I untangle that and help you move forward. And with a plan and without losing your financial security, because as we know, that's number one thing that usually keeps us stuck.
That's 100%. It's a big one.
Yes.
And I wanted to dive straight into the topics. Yeah. So actually, for your listeners, I can also just introduce, or your your viewers, your followers. I'm Christy, and I'm also a career coach. And yeah, I help women who feel stuck in their job find a meaningful, fulfilling career. And I decided to do this live with you today because I also have. It was never meant to be like this, but I have had so many clients who've experienced a burnout, and some one, some two, some even more than that. And it's quite shocking, like how many women come to me, like saying that, they've just recently been in a burnout or they're still in it. So I think it's something that we should bring awareness to this topic. So I know that you have worked very closely, with these high performers for many years. And what have you noticed about how burnout shows up, in those high pressure environments?
Yeah, so I was in financial sector, and it is high pressure. And I worked closely with C-level executives. And the thing with burnout is that it's invisible. Unless you work closely with a person or you are someone's manager, just on the surface you don't see it, because when you are in a high pressure environment and in environments that are high competition, the last thing you want to show is that you're not strong enough, you're lacking something, and obviously everyone wants to show only their strong sides. And if you walk into the room filled with people in the meeting, everyone will be showing how amazing you are. They are strong, determined, leadership skills. But 50% of them will be at the stage of burning out, but they cannot admit it because it will have job consequences, obviously. You may be denied projects. In the end, you may be even let go because you will not be performing. So no one wants to say that, and the reasons are obvious why we cannot say that we cannot keep up. And also,
so we all, yeah, sorry.
I'm sorry.
Carry on.
Yeah, also what is happening is we start comparing ourselves to other people, like I did. You compare yourself to the other person in your team, and you're thinking, well, they can do it. It means something's wrong with me. I should be able to do it. So we are literally pushing each other into more and more deeper in burnout.
Yeah, it's insane if you think about it, because everybody's just pretending and putting on a mask, and therefore it's like a vicious cycle. Like, how do you break that if everybody's just pretending that they're fine, meanwhile they're like half collapsing inside? I mean, I was also even me, like I was in a job. It's not even on my LinkedIn profile because that's how short I was there. Not worth mentioning. But I got shingles and I just started working there, and it was so high pressure, and I didn't know how to like manage all these projects at the same time. And it was so painful here on the side, and I would come into the office like, sitting down, and I would just feel like, oh, I can't do this, and I would just pretend I'm fine, like really pushing through the pain. And eventually they saw, that things weren't going well, and I got fired eventually. But like, looking back at them, like, why didn't I just ring the bell and be like, guys, this is not working, I'm quitting, but I actually waited and suffered through all this pain by myself until they fired me. That was really in my life my rock bottom moment, how many people call it. And I think all these people, they're just incredibly good at pushing through this discomfort, like always just performing, because they're like the reliable one. They're people rely on them. They are the one who deliver the results. But I also hear from clients that they emotionally just detach. They just kind of feel numb. They're just running on discipline instead of energy, which is
That's
quite
already
sad.
one of the signs of burning out is you start detaching from what you do, and you lose meaning, you lose that spark, that zest that you had before for the job.
So, okay, so then it looks like they all have it together, right? But what are some subtle early signs that someone is actually burning out? Like, what do you see?
So if you work closely with someone or you manage someone, you would notice signs like detaching, like you just mentioned. They're not as invested, show less interest. And what I also noticed is the performance is not as steady as it used to be. So it kind of like fluctuates, because when a person hits the bottom, they conserve the energy and they may make more mistakes and not deliver projects on time. But then the anxiety kicks in, and then they gain the strength and start working harder again. So it's always this like push and pull, instead of consistent delivery, which probably was in the very beginning. Yeah, so those are the things that you can notice in the performance.
Yeah, and I think it's also like just constantly feeling tired that a weekend or holiday doesn't really fix. And I think it's also a lot of emotional, like also here that a lot of times it's also depression, or just feeling very down or low or just miserable, or
Well, if you know
yeah,
the person
anxiety.
outside of work, then yes, you would. The signs are you have poor sleep, or you sleep a lot but you don't recharge. I was there. You spend weekends sleeping. You don't want to spend time with family or friends. You lose interest in the things that used to bring you joy. You go on vacation and it doesn't fulfill you. You may start drinking or partying more, or finding outlets that will numb this internal void, internal pain, and something that make you feel alive. Some people even can pick up a lover on that stage, because it gives them, if they're, let's say, in a relationship or have lots of meaningless relationships, because it gives them that drive that I still feel alive. Because when you're burning out, depending on your stage, you just feel numb, like nothing gives you pleasure. And then the next step after burnout, people go into the depression, and people treat it as they just go get anti-anxiety medication or antidepressants and they keep going. I know so many people that came out when I was going through my burnout, and they're like, oh yeah, I was there, just take this pill. So
Wow.
it's not addressed seriously. Burnout is normalized. High pressure is normalized. Pushing through, disregarding your health is normalized in our society, in high pressure environments.
And then we wonder why we all get sick these days.
Exactly. Exactly.
And then you mentioned your burnout yourself as well. So how did you know, okay, this is a burnout?
So I was working with a psychologist for many years. Sometimes when if I felt I couldn't keep up with the pressure. I would call her, and she was kind of my friend. And I just told her that, I don't want to get up in the morning. The moment that I finish work, especially when we were working from home, I just shut the blinds, I go to sleep. I wake up in the
Sure.
morning and I slept like 12 hours and I feel exhausted. And then I would
Wow.
be having this depressive anxiety episodes where I feel very down, and then the weekend comes and I'm like, oh, blue sky, birds, which is like very not normal emotions. And that's when I got really scared, because I felt like I'm not controlling who I am anymore. And like the next step, she said, if you don't do anything, you'll have to get medicated, and that's when the problems start. So yeah, my psychologist
Did
helped me.
you? Okay. And what did you learn from this whole experience? And teach you maybe also about yourself, your identity, your self worth, your ambition. Like,
Well, I've learned that I should have made changes earlier, that like pushing through, suffering through something that you don't like and not listening to your body is not good, because I'm lucky I had burnout, but some people can get cancer, can
sure.
get, serious diseases. So that, and also I've learned that I was identifying and delivering my identity, my self-worth from my job. So that merged. And that's why, and a lot of people who are especially like high up and very successful, for them that happens most of the time. They identify themselves with that success, and then when your job no longer fulfills you, you cannot live it, because in order to change jobs, to change your life, you need to have an identity crisis
Yeah.
and change who you are to change the job. So that's the problem. That's why a lot of people feel stuck, because they identify with their job.
So, and do you feel like you had a real identity crisis yourself?
Yes, I was. I did, but the support from the people. At that point I realized that I am so much more than my job, and I can do so many other things, and that
Sure.
this situation teaches me that in current times we're so blessed that we can reinvent ourselves and our professions many times in our lifetime. It's not like it used to be before. So, and I'm sure you can relate, because you reinvented yourself after you left your career.
A few times, and actually, I haven't maybe not always mentioned all the different things. So I even started to become. So I knew that I wanted to leave the corporate world, right? But I wasn't quite sure what else I wanted to do. I just knew I didn't want to, sit behind my desk all day. So I thought I would want to be a beautician. I actually studied that, and but then I actually did an internship, and I realized I'm missing like working with my head. Like I want something else. And then I also was like, oh, but flying, that could be very interesting. So I also did that. And again, I mean, it was amazing. I really enjoyed that. But then again, I was like, yeah, I'm missing like psychology. Like I want to know what makes people tick. And then Corona hit, the pandemic, and there were no more flights. And I sat home, and then I started to think, okay, what else can I do? And then literally coaching just came on my path, that there was like this free course that I could do for a couple of days, and I was immediately hooked on that. So that's what I also said to my clients. Try different things, and if something isn't it, it's okay, to change and to do something else. So I don't see like that I became, like a beautician, and I studied that as a waste of time, because I learned so much, and also about business and starting your own business. I feel like everything led me to becoming a coach. So it's okay to pivot multiple times and to try out different things, because through trying and taking action, that's how you'll discover what actually really suits you,
Exactly.
not from thinking about it.
Yeah, thinking leads you nowhere.
No.
You have to try
So
because sometimes. Mm.
yeah, because you don't know, and it's okay to make a wrong decision, to make a wrong turn, and to be like, actually, this isn't it. Because honestly, it's going to lead you close to what you do want. The more you know of what you don't want to do, the more you'll figure out what you do want to do.
Yes.
But I just wanted to quickly go back to why you think that these ambitious, capable women, especially these type of women, are vulnerable to burnout.
If we compared them in comparison to men, or just women who are like very capable and ambitious, because if we
100%.
compare
Also to men, yeah.
if we compare them to men and women who have to compete in the man dominant roles, in leadership roles, they can burn out easier and faster because they have to prove themselves more compared to men. They have to make extra steps to be considered seriously. Second of all, in the job market, the expectations from women in leadership positions, especially, the expectations are very vague. Let's say you can be assertive, but you will be labeled as aggressive or difficult. But if you're not assertive, then you can be labeled as soft. So it's really hard to navigate for the woman how you should be to be treated seriously in leadership roles. And third, women also have, most of the time, they take care of the kids and the household more than men do. So they really don't have downtime. You're always on the go 24/7. And that's why it's really easier to burn out for a woman compared to men.
Yeah, and what I also see with my clients that they really have this extreme high internal standards, for themselves. They just set the bar higher and higher and higher, and they're real perfectionists and people pleasers. I find it difficult to say no. And exactly what you say, they want to be a good partner, they want to be a good friend, they want to be a good mom, they want to support the team. So, I mean, it is exhausting to have to do it all. And we, as women, are conditioned to be helpful, to not disappoint people, to be accommodating, to be caring. So, yeah, it is a lot to protect your
As
own
a perfectionist,
energy.
I agree. And unfortunately, when you are a perfectionist, when you have those traits, no matter what business you're in, you have higher chances of burning out. Because before, I thought, I blamed my job. Oh, it was like high pressure. That's why I burnt out. And then I started my life coaching, and I was doing the same thing to myself. I was just like my own angry boss. So, yeah, we as women who are perfectionists and have very high standards have to learn to create boundaries for ourselves, and not be perfectionist, just good enough. I always tell myself, good
Good
enough
enough
is
is good
good.
enough.
Yes.
Set healthy boundaries, yeah. So I can imagine a lot of women who are listening to this or watching this, are thinking, okay, are they talking about me? Like, do I have a burnout, or do I just, need a holiday, or am I maybe in the wrong environment or the wrong path? Like how can someone tell the difference between, okay, maybe need a holiday or you're burnt out?
So, speaking from my experience and people who reach out to me, my clients, if vacation doesn't help you, you are burnt out. Because usually at the stage when you are just tired, you sleep and it helps you. When you take vacation, it recharges you, you get your energy back, your body returns to homeostasis, and you like happy to go back to work. If you're burnt out, none of that is working for you already. Your sleep does not recharge you because your body is in constant fight or flight response. It's like running away from a tiger. and no vacation, no rest is already helping, unfortunately. And if you're realizing that you might be in the wrong industry, after vacation you may feel even worse because you had that gap of a little bit of freedom, and you gain understanding that why am I doing this? Why my job feels meaningless? And you start questioning yourself on vacation. That's what happened to me, because you finally have some free time to catch up on your thoughts, on your reality.
Yeah, and I sometimes think it really is just the workload, and if that can be fixed, a lot of problems will be solved. But what I do see with a lot of my clients is that it's much more than that. It's really like it's not in alignment with their values anymore, their job. The working environment's not right, leadership, like toxic environments, toxic leaders, toxic bosses, or the actual work, they've outgrown pretty much the work that they're doing. It just doesn't align with them anymore.
Yes.
And then it's okay, we need to be honest with ourselves and admit this, and then be like, okay, well, life is short. I don't have that long. Like, if it's not in alignment with me anymore, if I'm not enjoying it anymore, then something needs to change. And that's
Yes, and
okay.
that's what I loved about you when I met you, because I worked with career coaches before I met you, and they all concentrated, okay, what do you want to do? Here's CV, here's like how you can apply for the jobs. So basically they concentrated on the outside. And when I met you, you're like, no, first we have to start within, with your alignment. Like, what do you want? How do you want it? Like, and then after that you start searching for jobs. And I'm like, yes, hallelujah, that's the person that resonates with me, because that's how it's supposed to be done. You don't want to just change one job for another job and be burnt out in the next year again.
And that is what I see, like a lot of other career coaches do, online. It's all about getting the promotion, getting the salary raise, getting that leadership role, getting the corner office, and all these things. But I think we have to take a step back, and is that really what you want? Or is that what your parents want? Or do you want to belong to your friends? Or is that what society expects of you? Is that truly what's going to make you happy and fulfilled? Or is it maybe something completely else? And do you dare to open that up, open that Pandora box? Because it can be like something completely different. I mean, to be honest, in my situation, when I had this dream to become an air hostess, I was very embarrassed about it, because I was like, okay, I've, always said that I want to climb the corporate ladder and get this high function title somewhere and have this great salary and, like, make my friends and parents and everybody proud, and I'm going to serve chicken or beef in the air. Like, what are people going to think? And that's really what I was thinking. But then once I took that step, wow, like, what a relief. Like, so much weight was off my shoulders, and I was like, oh, I should have done this earlier. Like, this is so amazing. And I get to travel the world and see all these things. So that was the first time in my life I actually made a decision based on what I wanted, instead of asking other people. That when I used to get like job offers, like once I had 2 job offers, I called a friend. I was like, what would you do? Which job would you take? Which job do you think will get me further in life? Like, how crazy is that? If I think back now, like, I wasn't living my life for myself. I was living it to impress, others in the outside world. And no wonder I was feeling unfulfilled.
Well, that's what 90% of people are doing right now.
Yeah. And it's important to be aware of this, because you don't want to live a life with regrets or what ifs. And then one day, I always do that exercise with my clients, like you're on your porch, in your rocking chair, thinking back on your life, and then think, I should have, I could have, why didn't I? That's, not a nice feeling. It's much nicer if you're sitting on your porch and you did, I tried things. And even if it failed or didn't work out, at least you tried, at least you explored what else is out there for you. Because it's insane that you do the same type of thing for the rest of your life. Because we as people, we change, just like plants. We learn, we grow, we develop. So you're not the same person you were 10 years ago. If you think back of who you were, you've changed so much. So of course, it makes sense that you might want something completely different in your job.
Well, I
So,
think people are still catching up with that idea of having multiple careers,
yes.
and
Yeah.
doing lots of things in life.
Yeah. So just quickly going back to the burnout, I know that a lot of women are afraid of, slowing down because to them it feels like they're failing or falling behind. And how do you help your clients shift that belief?
Um, it's about shifting perception of slowing down. Like, what does slowing down mean? For perfectionists and high achievers, slowing down feels like I am not performing well, I am uh, failing. So when you switch the perception of slowing down, is actually allowing yourself to sustainably be productive, basically run the marathon. You cannot sprint the marathon. So there is a specific exercise that I use that works with irrational fears. Irrational fears are fears that have no base under them. And after working with them, women realize that slowing down is actually working smarter, not harder, and it increases their productivity, and it increases their sustainable productivity, and they have energy to sprint if they need to sprint. Yes, and then you have to implement it in real life in baby steps, because theory is one thing, but then you need to support it by real small actions, and that way your neural pathways slowly switch, and you are able to slow down and be don't push yourself to 150% every day.
And I think slowing down it can be so healthy, to pause and to rest because if you don't, you can end up burnout and then you fall behind even like much more.
Exactly.
So, yeah, we're just human beings. We're not human doings. Like, we need to pause, we need to take breaks, we need to. And during those times, you can reassess to see whether your job is still in alignment with who you are. If you're always constantly busy, you don't have time to think about these things.
Exactly. And you
And
can
then
also,
coming to the boundaries, because I know that is such a big topic. Like, I also do that a lot with my clients, setting boundaries. Um, what do you feel like? Why do you think these high achieving women struggle with that, and what kind of advice do you have for them to start setting these boundaries?
oh, boundaries is so hard. I struggle with boundaries. It's for high achieving women, because they are perfectionists, because they have high standards for themselves. They become these people who can fix everything, and they derive their A, self-worth from that, and B, if they say no, they feel like they fail, like they cannot do something. And then we also, as women, taught in many cultures more than in others, that you have to be a team player, you have to help others, you have to be supportive, even if it's in like detriment to your own self. Yeah, so establishing boundaries, it takes time. Slowly, in baby steps, you have to choose yourself and learn to say no. But it's not an easy process. Like, I worked with clients, I work with myself, and it's not easy.
Yeah, so what I always say, like, ask yourself the question, do I really want to do it or feel like, or do I really have to do it? And if it's a have to, then you kind of know, okay, well, then maybe I shouldn't be doing, maybe I should be delegating it to something. Is it like actually bringing me energy or bringing me closer to my ultimate goal or not? And that's why it's so important to have that clarity on what it is that you truly want or what it is that you have to do in your job to get the required results. And when other people come ask you all sorts of things, and You have to be honest and be like, is this going to bring me closer to the goal of what I have to do? And if not, then learn how to say no. And it's honestly by just taking action. And now what I do see is that when they do it, when they start to set those boundaries, it is actually not as bad as what they thought it would be. And people don't react as bad as what they thought they would be. And it's especially very good to start practicing this once you go to a new company, because if you're in a new position, no one knows you. I can imagine if you've always been the people pleaser and all of a sudden you start saying boundaries, people are like, well, what happened to Tatsiana, like what happened to her? But if you're like in a new company, like nobody knows. So I did it with one of my clients, because she actually came to me because of this. And like, well, I say small things, but to her it was a big thing. Like she really didn't want to go to evening functions and evening dinners with work because she just really wanted her to sleep and wanted to have time off at night. So whereas with the other company, she was always there, always doing those things. It was completely draining her. So she just said, like, I don't do evening functions and stuff. And they were like, okay, well, fair enough. Like, if that's not what you want. And she's like, oh, that was easy. So, and now they know her as that person who doesn't do that. So you kind of have to train and teach other people how you want to be treated. And it gets easier and easier the more you do it.
Yes, I 100% agree.
And if someone feels constantly drained and doesn't know what to change anymore, right? What is a small step they can start taking? Because I could think maybe some people are like thinking now, okay, I am in this position, but what can I start doing as of today? Like, what tiny step can I start taking now?
Well, it depends also where person is health-wise, because I worked with clients who are severely burnt out, and before we can start doing anything and planning and making baby steps, they need to bring their health back. So the first things are take some vacation or days off, pick up hobbies that recharge you, not reading or watching something that declutters your mind. Yes, and then once the body is in more stable state and homeostasis without fight or flight, you can start evaluating what you like about your job currently and what you don't like, and then take what you like and see where else you can apply it. Or like, let's say I was working with a client and we started evaluating what she liked, what she didn't like. She was thinking of leaving her job. In the end, we realized that she loves her job. She doesn't love the company. She hates the company, how it operates. So the solution there was to just change the company. So first step is to understand what you like, and then how you can apply those things maybe to other jobs or in other areas. Let's say you said that you wanted to fly, but then you wanted to do something else, but you wanted to have psychology in it. So you were exploring yourself and came to this to where you are right now as a life coach. But that's all based on what you like.
Yeah, no, 100%.
To see what you don't like.
Yes, first 100%, and then you will figure out what you do want. But just before that, what also really helped me, and I think also my clients, is just to really slow down so that you can start really listening to yourself. Because a lot of us, we're constantly reacting to emails, responsibilities, to our phone. I mean, this thing is like always there. Like, step away from those screens, and but also really help me start like doing long walks in nature and like journaling, meditation, and spending a lot of time alone. So instead of packing your weeks with like all friends and things, like start doing like nothing, and because that's when you don't listen to all the opinions of other people anymore. If you're constantly around other people, then they're going to keep on giving you advice. that might not be very helpful at that time. So if you like spend a lot of time alone or go in nature for long walks, a lot of times then, your intuition can start speaking to you again, like start connecting with your intuition, because that's where like
Yeah,
all the answers lie.
that's what I was doing. Yes, long walks
Yeah.
in nature.
Yeah. Those are the best. And do you feel like burnout is like a real wake up call that something deeper needs to change? And not just the workload, but really like alignment? What do you see with your clients? Is it usually for them like a huge wake up call that they change something completely, or what do you see?
I see burnout can happen just because of the workload, but people reach out for help when it's something more. Because if it's just the workload, they go on vacation or take longer time, and in the end, you bounce back. If it's
Yeah.
something deeper, if it's misalignment of your values, your job doesn't fit you anymore, then the vacations won't help, and that's when people usually reach out to me, because they're so high achievers, they're so cerebral. It's hard for them to connect to the inner core, to inner desires, because they're thinking, security or prestige or this and that, and there's so much noise in the head that it's hard for them to clearly understand how to take the next step. So that's when
Well,
they come to me.
what I see is like two things. Either they're in the burnout and they just go right back to that old company again, and then they get a burnout again, or they really realize, okay, this is really not for me anymore, or they really hit that rock bottom, and that really becomes like the pivotal moment that their whole life completely changes around. But actually, in most cases, even after going back, they've changed. A lot of them, through the burnout, they've taken so much time off. They've maybe done some therapy, or they've done some coaching, or they've worked on themselves, done some sort of personal development, and then they've just changed. They're just not that same person anymore. Maybe worked a bit already on boundary setting, and then when they go back into that old environment, they see this is actually really not, doesn't suit me anymore.
Mm. Yeah, I see
And
that
that's
a lot.
actually a very healthy thing, like, because change is good.
Change is amazing.
Yeah, life is so much more exciting, when
Yeah.
like I see like life is a book, and there's like all different chapters, and it's how boring would it be if you just have this one long chapter, but how amazing if you have all these different experiences and different chapters in this book that's called your life.
Yes, and I feel when like one chapter ends, a person, instead of being regretful and fearful, should be excited, because like, oh my God, what else I can do? What else is there in store? It means I have changed. If like this doesn't fit me, what I've built anymore, it means I've grown and there is something else, something better, something more exciting for me. I just have to figure out what. And it's really, really beautiful time. It's just a matter of perception. People are afraid of it, but I think it's a blessing in disguise when we get there.
It is. Life is an adventure.
Yeah.
Okay, I have one last question for you, and that is, what would you say to a woman who feel exhausted and stuck, but also guilty? Because I also hear this a lot, that they feel guilty for not feeling grateful for the life they've built. They can see like, oh, but I should be. I'm privileged that I even have a job. Like I've gotten replies like that to my posts as well. But like, shouldn't you just be happy that you at least have a job? Um, so yeah, what would you say to these women who are feeling stuck, but they don't want to be ungrateful and they just feel guilty about it?
It happens to everyone. That's completely normal feeling when our expectations did not match the reality. So we expected of loving the job, having it forever, or some other expectations, but the reality does not match those expectations, and that's it. So there is nothing deeper below it. It's like you went to buy a chocolate, you didn't like the chocolate, so you shouldn't be guilty for not liking it or regretting something. No, you tried it, it did not match what you expected, so you move on. Same with jobs and any other life situation. It's just something that we don't like, and we have to be very honest, surrender and accept our feelings. I'm grateful for it, but I don't like it. What I can do about it, how I can change it, that's all.
Yeah, you can be grateful and still want more, you know? You can be very grateful for your life right now, for your job right now, but it's okay to want more and want different. And I think it's also got to do with a bit of self-worth, like, okay, but you're worthy of so much more, and you're worthy of having this amazing, fulfilling, and meaningful career and job. Like, you're allowed to have that and want that. And that's not being ungrateful.
Have you felt that? Because I felt really guilty for not wanting, because the job in banking was my biggest dream come true for a small town girl, immigrant, poor English, and here I was. I felt extremely guilty. So when my clients now reach out to me and they feel it, I feel that pain all over again. Have you felt it?
I don't think I felt guilty. I felt more disappointed. Like, ugh, again, it's something that is not fulfilling, you know? Like, why me? Like, how is this possible? Because, you know, I thought that this would finally be fulfilling, and then it's not. And I think that's also what made me want to do this career coaching, because I know the struggles, I know the pain, I know how frustrating it can be, that you're in a new role, you're all excited, and then after a while, again, it's back to square one again. You have those same feelings. And it's like, how nice, how fulfilling is it to help other women find something in a much quicker time span than what I did? Because for me, it was a long journey of figuring this stuff out. So yeah, I think it all comes down to, in the end, that you do something that's really kind of purposeful, or it gives back to society some way. At least that's also what a lot of my clients say. They want something really that they can see the end result. They can see what they're contributing. They can see that they're adding something to this world, or making someone's life better, or making the world a bit of a better place.
Yes. Can I
And
ask
if
you a
that's
question?
currently not it, then if currently, you know, that's not the feeling, then go look for, dare to get out your comfort zone and go look for, what is that then? What would actually make me feel like I'm doing something meaningful? Because we all have it. It's all in a different way. Everybody has that one thing, but you just need to figure out what it is.
And when you were figuring out what it is on your journey, you switched a few jobs. And I wanted to ask you how you dealt with judgment of society. I'm sure people were saying, because you switched like from beauty industry to flying, now life coaching, and people probably were saying, what, you're all over the place. Can't you just pick one? Maybe not taking you seriously. Have you seen that from your friends or family, relatives?
Yeah, so for me, it's all about mindset. So training the brain to think differently, training the brain to what to focus on. Because there's also, in my life right now, there's so many things I can be grateful for, but so many things that I find super annoying, you know? But am I going to focus on those things that I find annoying, or I'm going to focus on the positive? So it's the whole time. Somebody once said to me, I also thought that was quite funny. It's like, um, you know, like, what do you see on this page?
A dot, a big dot.
Exactly. So the dot represents like everything that's going not right in your life, whereas the white is everything that's positive and that's good in your life. But we always tend to focus on the negative So, and that's also a very big thing to learn, to not worry so much what other people think of you, because they have no idea. It's not their life, it's not their journey, it's my journey. And that it was a big one. And it was something that I had to train myself, like training a puppy, to keep on choosing a different thought, to keep on choosing a different thing, and let people let them think, let them judge me, let them, because there will always people who will back you up and who will understand you and who will love you no matter what, and who will be there for you. And there's some people that will never understand your journey. And that's kind of like, okay, no matter what you do in life, some people are gonna find it fascinating and like it, and some people are gonna be like, "What the hell is she doing?" Kind of thing. So, and when you're just your authentic self and you just do what you want to do, you attract your tribe, you attract the people that will want to be there in your life, and there'll be a lot of people that are actually very understanding and are going through exactly the same thing, that are also searching and they're also wondering. So I feel like when you're honest and you open up, there's actually a lot of other people who are like, you know what, I'm actually going through the same. That actually makes you realize that you're not alone in this.
Yes, the only person you need to make happy yourself.
Yes. All right, we've been speaking for, I thought it would be like half an hour, but it's already like 15 minutes.
Wow, time flies when you have fun.
Time flies. Thanks so much for this conversation. I hope that everybody watching and listening, that they got something out of it. And where can people find you? How can they reach out to you?
Instagram at Tatsiana's Life Hacks, Tatsiana's Coaching. If they type Tatsiana's
Okay,
Coaching.
amazing. Okay, well, thanks so much for being here today. And I wish everybody a wonderful day. And till next time.
Thank you, Christy. Bye.